Hi, it's Dorothy Guiding with Scrapbooking Quebec. Today I'm here for the Scrapbook Nerd online shop, and I'll be creating a 12 by 12 layout featuring the Simple Vintage Essentials collection by Simple Stories. This page is quick and easy, and it's also part one of a three-part series, One Sketch, Three Ways. So here's the sketch I'm going to be using. It's a Malena Witty Whisk sketch. It is very simple, but has so much potential. So I will be using it again on YouTube. You can find Malena's work on the Scrapbook Nerd Friends Group Facebook page, as well as on Instagram. And I will put a bunch of links below. Here's the material I'll be using. I have paper and embellishments from the Simple Vintage Essentials collection. These products came from the Scrapbook Nerd online shop, so I am going to link up the shop along with the products I use in the description box below. So let's jump right in and get started. On my desk, you are going to see, of course, I have the sketch, and later on in the process that will be popped up on the screen. Now this collection is full of really fun neutrals. I absolutely love it. I'm just showing you the cover sheet there. This brown paper, I plan to use both sides of it, the brown paper as well as those cut apart sheets. I have this newsprint paper here. This black with white polka dot, I don't end up using it. And that off-white paper will be my foundation page. In this folded over piece of paper, I do have some scraps of paper. And you're going to see as well, I did map 3 photos in advance. Now the sketch has 4 smaller photos. My photos measure 3.5 by 3.5, and I do have a mat on them that measures 1/4 inch bigger. Also, I have a tray with my embellishments. So from this collection, I have 2 ephemera packs. I have that floral bits and pieces. That's all in black and white. I also have another ephemera pack, and most of them are really big layered looking pieces. They are flat, but they look layered. There are a few smaller pieces in there as well, but most of them are big. I just showed you that I did cut up some of those bingo cards. And I also have 3 alphas in my tray here. I only end up using 1 of them. So now what I'm going to do is start cutting up pieces of paper to form a wide border at the top of the page. And I will put measurements for all of these paper parts on the screen a little bit later on when I adhere them to the page. What I do want to point out is the measurements are for visible paper only, and you're going to see when I place all of these paper pieces to the page, I do some overlapping. So in fact, the only measurement for real size is this brown paper here. All of the other ones I do overlapping. So now what I'm going to do is just place all of these on the page to give you an idea where I'm going with this. And you may notice on the sketch, the top part of the page is white. I'm going to replace that with that newsprint paper there, but I'm going to leave the bottom half white. So now I'm placing my photos. I am happy with that, but before adhering anything, I'm going to apply a bit of ink to all of these paper pieces. And the ink I'm using is Morning Mist by VersaFine Claire, and I'm not going to make you watch all of it, but in a moment you're going to see all of my pieces are all inked up. So now what I'm going to do is adhere all of this together. So I'm starting by adhering those black narrow strips behind this brown paper. Then what I will do is adhere that newsprint paper to the top of my foundation page. Then I will adhere that border just underneath it. So once again, you can see the sketch there. The photos are really small there. They are all 2 by 2. My photos are significantly larger. And that is changing up the look of the design because my border has to be significantly wider. So I'm using the sketch as inspiration, but I'm really changing up the look. And maybe during this series, One Sketch, 3 Ways, maybe I will do it exactly like the sketch just to have an idea of how different it really looks. Anyway, I rarely use small photos, so I'm just kind of making it work for me here today. I'm adhering everything down, and I want to point out that I'm not really pressing down hard, and also the adhesive I'm using, which will be listed and linked below, gives me a bit of wiggle room, meaning I can move things around a bit before it becomes permanent. And today that's particularly important because I do plan to tuck embellishments underneath the photos and between the layers. So I don't want to permanently adhere it right now. I just wanted to point that out. If you're doing what I'm doing and your adhesive bonds instantaneously, you may want to hold off the adhering part at this point. You can see I have my title on wax paper, so it's in those wood grain alphas from Simple Stories. They are foam alphas with like a wood grain paper top on them. They're really, really nice, but they adhere so, so strongly. Anyway, I'll talk about that a little bit later on. Now what you see me doing is I'm using the sketch as inspiration. You can see above the photos there are all of these circles. What I'm doing is behind that layer at the top, I'm tucking in a bunch of those cut apart sheets and ephemera pieces. I really like it. Usually I ponder longer than this. I like it so much I decide not to remove them. I'm just lifting the tips and adding a bit of adhesive. That is done. I'm happy with that. Now what I'm going to do is add some more embellishing. So I'm getting out these floral bits and pieces. I'm going to tuck a few of them just to the top left of that middle photo. So I've got two floral pieces there at this point. I think in the end I end up having three, but at this point I have two. Also, at the bottom there, you can see on the sketch, the journaling is just underneath the title. Well, I did my journaling on an ephemera piece, so I'm going to be putting it just underneath the title as well. I think I want a repetition of that floral cluster that's in the top there. I just added another one underneath where my journaling is going to go. I'm pretty much happy with that. So I use the same technique, just lifting those flowers just at the top left of that photo and adhering them, not doing too much fussing there. And now what you see me doing is trimming down that ephemera piece, that floral piece. It's going to go underneath that journaling piece. Sometimes ephemera pieces, if there's like an extra leaf or an extra petal or something that's just not working with my cluster, I'll give it a little bit of a haircut, and that's exactly what I did right there. So I'm happy with that. Now what I'm going to do is adhere my title. And I mentioned early, these alphas adhere very, very quickly. And I put them on wax paper, and I'm having to be very careful, to be perfectly honest, lifting them off the wax paper. I often put my alpha stickers on wax paper so I can play around with placement. Anyway, I stopped the film and continued doing it. It came off well. It's just that I had to be careful because when you have foam alphas or any foam stickers with paper on top, like these alpha stickers, if you bend them too much, the paper on top will crease, and I don't like how that looks. So anyway, all is done. Nothing was ruined. Now you see me coming in with some finishing touches. So I put a heart and I adhered it with foam adhesive just on top of that journaling area at the bottom. I came in with my tiny attacher and added a staple by my journaling, two staples in the top left corner on those bingo cards. Later on, I come in and add another staple on the other side as well. Right now, this is a cat layout, so I got out my trusty old cat punch from Stampin' Up, and I just punched out one cat. If ever you're using general themed product and you want to make it themed, just add one little thing. I used a cat punch out here. I could have used a cat sticker, something like that. Anyway, I love the color scheme for my photos. I just wanted to add something a little feline in there. You also saw that I created a little reinforcer with a hole punch and a circle punch for that clipboard that's just above that middle photo. I'm thinking of adding a bit of twine there. Now I'm coming in with another floral piece. I just want to add a subtle visual triangle with the other two floral areas on the page. So I have it there just tucked behind that clipboard, and I'm happy with that. That's when I added another staple to that bingo card. And that's basically it. Off camera, I adhered 3 twine bows using glue dots, and I did place them in the form of a visual triangle around the page. I also added a heart to that middle photo, And I did pop up the tips of some of those flower ephemera pieces with some foam adhesive, but that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd greatly appreciate a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the Scrapbook Nerd YouTube channel, we would be thrilled if you did. The same thing for my channel, Scrapbooking Quebec. Make sure to check out the Scrapbook Nerd online shop for these fun supplies and lots more. Stay tuned. I will be revisiting this sketch and hopefully giving it a new twist. Take care, and I will see you soon on YouTube. Bye-bye.